Rogue, not quite top five, but not quite bottom of the barrel, licking the ground, trying to be the best deck in the room. Anybody actually feel that, by the way, because that's what it's like trying to play anti-meta against modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So today we're going to be talking about top five Rogue picks here. And usually Rogue picks are, like I said, we're not quite meta, but we're meta enough that we're kind of meta. Huh. That's a fortune cookie if I've ever heard it. Let's dig into this, shall we? Make sure you guys smash the crap out, subscribe, and so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Number one on our list here is going to be Tri-Brigade. Now, Tri-Brigade's fall from grace has been nothing but interesting to watch. After the loss of Drident, the deck didn't quite want to go back to the Lyrical Lisk engine, I've kind of noticed, which means that Rescue Cat might be the dominating force for this list. Imagine a format where you can go Fractal, bait out a Ash Blossom. You're like, oh, okay, well, that's good. They normal summon Rescue Cat, tribute for cost. You attempt Ash, and they slap you with the Gamma right there. What do? You cry, is what you do. That's what ends up happening if, well, you're playing Tri-Brigade this format. That's what it's like to chew 5 gum for the moment. But the deck is still not tier 2 in my opinion. I think the deck sits there at 1.5 and is going to be something that we're going to have to be aware of being there. Revolt is a heck of a card. They just gotta, find the gas to push down and accelerate through this massive hand trap meta, because unfortunately we are in one of the biggest hand trap metas that I've seen in a very long time, between Imperms, Nibiru's, Ash Blossoms, Gammas, Ghost Bells, Effect Failures. Droll and Lockbird, actually, come to think about it. They're all kind of here, and they're going to stick around for a very long time. So, I wish I could be more optimistic for Tri-Brigade, but looking at how the meta has shifted, just banning Drident and taking Dragon Link out of the picture, just shifted things around that much. So, going forward here, I will probably continue to see. I think the Rescue Cat variant is going to be the one that will be the go-to. The Lyrical Lisk variant might kind of gain some gas. If we'd gotten the Duelist pack on time, you would have seen this deck be an absolute tier 1 monster with the new support, but they decided to delay that till January, so you don't got to deal with Tri-Brigade until then. So, it's interesting. Next up here is Praying Kids, and you're like, wow, Praying Kids really fell from top 5 that hard, Robbie? So, it's called a hand trap format, everybody. When you're packing in like 15 of them things, 12 of them things, of course, the other one-card engine deck in the room is going to have issues. The one thing that this deck has going for it that, Shaddoll doesn't is, at least Invoked Doll's got Winda. What does Praying Kids have? Praying Kids has a normal summon, watch something happen to their summon, they pick up their cards and they walk away. Now, that's not saying it's going to happen every single matchup, because that doesn't happen every single matchup. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, when you're a one-card engine that doesn't have anything really special about you other than, you can play as many hand traps as your opponent can. I think that's the other reason why this deck can actually succeed and do well. Yeah, that's really weird, by the way. So one card engine deck can do well, another one can't, but it's what everything else the deck can do. It sounds like Sky Striker, actually. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, this deck has kind of fallen from grace. There's really nothing else I can really say about it to really redeem it too much. It is still very good. It's definitely not tier 2 by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely in the same boat as Tri-Brigade right now. It will remain as one of the upper level rogue picks going forward, but once again, I hate to say it, but if anything happens to that summon, man, but it's the same story it's been all formats. So if you fully resolve, Battle and Butler doesn't really do as much right now either. Like, what are you going to do? Battle and Butler, clear off your opponent's Sky Striker monster? What's that do? like nothing. And you got Shen across the table looking at you going, hi, I'm Virtual World. And then you're not playing around Herald either. Herald before negates is just death to you. So, sad but true. I really wish I could be more optimistic there, but it is what it is. Next up here is Salamangreat. Ooh. Salamangreat has been gaining a lot of popularity lately, but not for what you would think it's been. So, I've seen builds that are playing Mirage Dahlia. Yeah. The deck does what the deck did last format. It ends on, Sunlight Wolf with Roar and or Rage and Pass. Yeah. So Mirage Stalio actually kind of made the deck a little bit better. Cool thing is, now in Mirage Stalio, they can't, kill you with access code because they can't apply monster effects that aren't fire. The cool thing is they can make a Dweller underneath, and, so they can still summon. The big point is they can't apply effects in the same turn. So they can make Dweller with like Sunlight Wolf Pass, which is pretty much what I see a lot of these builds doing right now for like their go-to turn 1 play. Because, they get locked on a Mirage Stalio. The other thing is, if they want to access codes, you can't access Mirage Stalio. So it's interesting because locking yourself into fire effect monsters for the turn to only be able to apply for a new extension line of play really helped out the turn 1 for the deck. But your turn 2 kind of sucks now. That's really weird how that works, because the deck always wants to go access code smash, and if the deck can't go access machine, go brrr. There's nothing you can really do about it. So Mirage Stalio did put the deck back on the map. The amount of like Salamangreat players that came back to the deck right now because of the unrestriction of the Mirage Stalio actually has been significant. I think there's way more Sky Striker players that came back at the end of the day. But with that being said, though, it is quite beautiful to watch this deck actually gas to the floor. So it's really a pain in the butt to play against, by the way. Roaring Rager, hella bad cards. If you're a Sky Striker player, man, you don't get one engaged. Better not freaking lose it. Next up here, we have Adignister. Oh, the Crusade deck that Robbie talked about and got so much flack for when the video was just talking about overall matchups and if how you don't know what you're doing against the deck, you will lose. Alright, and then like the comment section's like, well, it's that way for every deck. You also have to understand that everybody knows how to play against combo decks like this. So, same thing here. Same thing that's applied this whole format, next format, last format, same thing. Big Link 6 monster unaffected by Super Poly. Oh no. So people don't know that you can't Super Poly away the Adignister Link 6. Who would have guessed? Or the At-Arrival Cybers. You can't Super Poly it. Alright? Usually at 4K. Sometimes it can be 6K. If it's 6K, you're not access coding over it. Alright? So you have to kill this big towers monster that's unaffected by everything via battle. If it's 4K, access code Boral Sword. Boral Sword can typically deal with the bigger one as well, but they have ways to protect it, depending on how they open. So, how do you beat a deck that puts the towers on the field? Nibiru, Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Imperm, Ghost Spell Stinks, they can chain block it. You can, at certain points, blow them out and they can't recover. If you do anything with their normal, another Link 1 deck. Wait, another one card engine deck. This Link 1 card engine deck isn't as good as the other ones, actually. If you Ash Red and you're like, you can go ahead and make the Link 6, sometimes you just don't have enough gas to go. It's really sad, actually, but this deck is very scary if left uninterrupted, and you do need to know how to handle the Link 6 in competitive play, because all it takes is one time seeing you on the field and you're like, question mark, what do I do? Alright. And the last rogue deck I gotta give it up for here is frickin' Earthbox, man. Every single European remote duel event is the exact same thing. There's always that one Earthbox player. Alright? PPG, first big event we saw for players. One Earthbox. What really continues to bring this deck to the table? And it's its huge boards. This deck's boards that it generates are quite honestly scary, and a lot of people don't know the choke points of this deck because it doesn't really come up all that much in competitive play, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. At the end of the day, watching the deck do its thing is a good thing. You just have to understand that if you blink, they're going to have a full field of earth monsters on the field that you're going to have to find a way to deal with. And compared to the other picks, I would say that this one is definitely in the tier 2 category going forward here. But compared to the other 9 decks in the room, this deck has kind of a higher chance to brick. And Droll Knockbird does hurt this deck a lot more than the rest of the deck. So at the end of the day, yes, you're going to have to deal with Earthbox being one of those more competitively viable decks in the rogue category, just because of the large amount of monsters that it can generate and the very scary things that you don't know what you're doing against it. Alright, quite honestly, I'm not super well versed in the deck either, but every time I see it come up, it doesn't really surprise me that it does well. So those are your top 5 rogue picks for the format. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Smash it. I love crab ads. Smash it. So you guys don't miss out more on this content. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the video. Some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you were looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.